Welcome to today's video, and today is part 2 of 3 for the mini-series involving the E-body Hemi convertibles in the Ogle collection. Today's video, we are going to go over the history of the red 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible in Wade's collection and how it went through its life early on and then how it went missing for over 3 decades and eventually was found. Now, if you are really intrigued by what we discuss in this story and you want more information about it, Wade wrote a chapter in a book called The Lost Muscle Cars, which I will include a link in the description below to, which goes into even greater detail to the history of this car. So that's enough of me rambling on right now. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Enjoy. After you got the Challenger, you got the red convertible.
That's right. So about a year later, I digested the Challenger. I was really just, my company had a banner year. And I started to think about these 2 missed opportunities of these 71 Hemi cuda convertibles, and that I didn't act upon. And I started thinking that maybe this was a good time. At the time there was, in fact, the fellow I bought the Sublime Challenger from, his name was Bill Weeman.
Okay.
At the time, he was the end-all be-all of really muscle car collecting, but Mopars in particular. He seemed to have an infinite amount of wealth available to him, and he was a very big name. All the magazines were doing articles on him, and he was really, I mean, he's still around, but he, at the time that was his heyday, and he was really a larger-than-life character. It's a lot of stories about him. So as it turned out, they're about half of these rare cars in existence just could not be bought for any amount, no matter what.
Oh wow!
And to this day, have just stayed put. But another half of them, roughly, were enticed by the ever-increasing prices, and eventually those owners relented and sold for big paydays. So and Bill Weeman was quite frequently the guy to pay the big payday and basically unearth this car. So it turned out Bill didn't have unlimited finances. Who does? There would be moments when he was either trying to buy something else or something was going on. He was a real estate developer. And so that would be the opportunities when you could get something from him. So the Challenger was the one case. We talked about Challenger production, the 12 in total he's of known today. There's rumors of a 13th, but I unsubstantiated. So as far as I know, the 12. So the Hemi cuda convertibles, 71s, also 12, as it turns out. The breakdown, there's 7 US, 2 4-speeds, 5 automatics.
Oh wow.
The Canadian cars were 2 sold to Canada, and international cars, again, not known the total, but 3 have surfaced. And again, because the meteoric rise in value really occurred already over the last 20 years, that unlikely anymore would surface, but that wouldn't be known, but it's possible. But anyway, of those, 12 are known. So the total breakdown ends up being 8 automatics and 4 4-speeds. Similar to the Challengers, there's a couple of them that really have not survived very well, and so those were out of my consideration for purchase. And I like nice colors, and I like all the options, and I like the paperwork, and all that stuff. So that really whittled it down to a much smaller number of cars that I would be interested in. This particular car is interesting, the red 71, in that It was sold new in Arizona, in Phoenix, at Bill Luke dealership in Phoenix, still in existence today.
Oh, wow.
The original owner was paraplegic. He was a fairly young guy who got in a motorcycle accident and lost the use of his legs.
Oh, no.
And with the insurance settlement money, he went out and purchased the hottest car that he could get his hands on, and equipped it, very, very nicely, but with a lot of just automated controls. So it was automatic, power brakes, power steering. He had hand controls installed to operate the foot pedals and brake. And apparently he, for about a year, just terrorized the streets of Phoenix in his brand new ride. 71 was an interesting year. Again, the Challenger convertible RTs were only made in 1 year. Challengers continued through 71, but only in non-RT form. Really, and in 71, the B-body Mopars had transitioned entirely to the new fuselage body style. Convertibles didn't exist.
Right.
So the last bastion, other than the big boat Imperials and things like that, the last bastion for powerful convertibles really was the 71 Cuda. That was really the only game in town.
Yeah.
So they held out the 1 year, and they did offer the Cuda, the equivalent of the RT package for the Challenger. They did offer the Cuda package for the Barracuda line, and you could get a Hemi convertible in 71.
Amazing.
So only 12 were built. Again, 7 US. Forever and ever and ever, 6 of the 7 cars were known. One was missing. Everybody knew it existed, or it existed at one point in time.
Right.
Where it was, I don't know. That's the car.
The missing car.
The missing car.
Amazing.
After that original owner had it for about a year and tore it up, he sold it to, actually it traded, as far as I understand, he traded it back in, and then it sold again, traded hands a couple of times, and more or less the third owner was a fairly private guy, Charlie Grant. I guess he's not private anymore. But he bought it in around 74 and socked it away. And he drove it for a bit as essentially a dune buggy through the hills around Phoenix, and then put it away. And even through the 80s and then 90s and then early 2000s, as the values of the cars went up and up and up, he stayed completely quiet. He attended the car shows. There were a few people who knew Charlie owned the car, but they weren't willing to share this big secret because they were trying to buy the car.
Of course.
So the secret eventually made its way to Bill Weeman. And being a developer in Phoenix and living mostly in Phoenix, finding out that there was a car local to him somewhere and the missing one, he was like a bloodhound. He could not.
I couldn't imagine.
I was still fairly new to the game, so I didn't have the knowledge base or resources to have it, but Bill did at the time. And he pressured Charlie, who at first said, no, absolutely not, I don't know anything about it, not, to, well, maybe I know something, to a purchase. Wow. So that was the big moment, and the missing car that had been missing for 35 years, finally, the last one to publicly surface.
Incredible.
Bill had some commitments to show it in Carlisle and this and that, but really he had bit off more than he could chew, and he had several others available, and this was really needed to go through a restoration. Being a car in Phoenix, the sheet metal was just pristine, but everything that was soft on it
was destroyed.
But had the original engine, all the paperwork, everything you appreciate, and great color combination. So when I heard about it, I made contact to him, and he only had it for just a few months, and essentially just flipped it over to me.
Wow.
And I felt, it was a big pill to swallow, but I finally had my car, and after missing twice before, I was not going to let this one slip through my fingers. So I was very fortunate.
Awesome. And it's a beautiful color too. The red really pops on it.
There are some very, so I have added some embellishments. It came originally with the vinyl side molding, which is nobody's favorite option on these
Right.
cars. It was very common back in the day,
was.
but it does not evoke, the spirit of power.
It does not.
So I chose not to add that and put the billboard stripe on it. Although I'm still debating about whether to change it back or not. I prefer it, the billboards for now. But particularly, this is a very late car in '71, and it's the only Hemi convertible very late in the year, right around March 5th, as a cost-saving measure. Prior to March 5th of '71, all Mopars came standard with body color matched steel wheels.
Oh, okay.
So you could get optional rally wheels or the road wheels like Magnum 500 style.
Right.
But the default was just steel wheels. Granted, on the Hemi cars, they were 15 by 7s and a specialty large wheel, but they were just your standard fare steel wheels painted to match the color of the car. So by early 1971, right around March 5th, Chrysler decided, hey, we're not matching colors today. From now on, all steel wheels come in one color, black.
Oh.
So this is the third to last '71 Hemi Cuda Convertible, but the two others after it both came with the rally wheels. So this is the only one in that era that came with the steel wheels, and I just really like it because the black wheels with the black leather interior, a very rare option, and then the black billboard, just on the red, it gives it this kind of sinister look to it. So anyway, I really dig that kind of how it's persona. So it's really solid vehicle.
Yeah, it looks amazing. The billboards, it's one of my favorite options for the '71s. I know a lot of people hate them because it's just this giant stripe on the side of the car, and they're definitely not easy to install.
No, pain in the butt and delicate. I mean,
yes.
You really have to. If you breathe on them wrong, you can put a crease in the side of them. Or so when I see folks walking up admiring the car and they get their big old belt buckle or their purse with their keys hanging off of it, oh my God! Please don't lean against my stripe. But it's just a vinyl sticker, and at the time, the largest stripe to ever be applied to a car. I may still be the largest. I'm just not sure about like the big birds on the Firebirds, possibly are larger, but covering nearly the entire quarter panel. I mean, that's a big stripe.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I like that accent. I've been able also to retain the original license plate that was issued to it. A lot of states change the license plate to yearly or on change of ownership.
Right.
California doesn't work that way, neither apparently does Arizona. And so that original plate from Arizona stayed with it, and I kept it, and also the building license plate frame. So,
nice.
Part of its heritage.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again, Wade, for all of your time sharing stories with us about these cars. I look forward to doing more of these videos with you in the future because you have so many more cars with so much more history to discuss.
I'd love to, John.
We are just running out of time in light today.
Light is, we're definitely a work. And we would love to have you back. That would be fantastic.
Well, thank you. And thanks everybody for tuning in. And until next time, if you want to be kept updated with all the future videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you like today's video, don't forget, hit that like button, give us that thumbs up. And we will see you at the next video.